I haven't been able to watch it with a coach yet. I'm about to do that, but I watched it myself yesterday, and I mean, that success we found on those last 2 drives. It's not like they really did anything different. Just tough to tell. I mean, I know they had a few different guys in there personnel-wise, but just tough to tell whether it just took us a while to get used to it, or for whatever reason.
Did Coach Dearman say anything? You guys had a couple third and short situations, ran against pretty heavy boxes. Coach Dearman say anything about that afterward in that first half?
No, he wasn't able to say anything about it. But I know on one of them for sure it wasn't an ideal box, wasn't an ideal look for us. They definitely had a lot of guys to the left, to the side that we were running the play. So it's kind of unfortunate, but we just gotta execute.
What can be done in those situations to help you guys on offense?
What exactly do you mean? Sorry.
Like, do you have the ability to change that?
Yeah.
Call a timeout? What's going through your head there?
Right. Yeah. It's tricky. Some plays I can change. That particular one, no. And it's definitely one that right before the ball snapped, I'm sure everyone on the offense wish it could have been changed, but no. I mean, it just kind of random.
Are there rules for audibling, and what can you tell us about that?
It's tough. I mean, some it really just depends. There's some plays in those heavy sets where I make the check and I make the call. On that particular one, again, like I wasn't able to do anything about it. I still had trust in our guys that we could get it done and get the 2 yards or whatever it was, but it just all kind of depends on the look. When we're in the spread sets, I think I definitely have more freedom to check out of it, or check a route or something. So
specifically on that toss, Coach Dearman called that play, or do you know?
Not sure. Really not sure. I think kind of historically the bigger sets are more of Coach Miles' plays, but I'm really not sure.
You talked about that, the heavy. Why do you think you guys ran more 22 last week, or more fullback stuff than you had the weeks before?
Really no telling on my part, but I think it's something that our coaches saw, whether it's personnel wise or just based off their base defense. Just tough to tell.
Carter against Tech and Texas moved the ball really well the last 2 weeks, cut back a little bit. Are they doing anything differently? Or are you seeing different looks than you saw in those first couple games?
I'd say a little bit. Every team that we've played has done kind of their unique thing. The past 2 were K-State and Oak State. They each had their own deal. It's not like they ran the same thing that kind of stopped us, but I'd say our previous 4 games we've gotten some pretty different looks. Some we've been able to find more success against than others, but it's a little mix of everything.
What's going through your mind when you're standing on the sideline seeing different quarterbacks playing?
Just the competitor in me. It was tough to start the second half like that, but at the end of the day, those are my teammates. Those are my guys. Some of my best friends. At this place, so I was cheering for them, and it's the ultimate team sport, so I was pulling for them.
So you had talked previously about how when there were moments when play wasn't necessarily up to the level that you expected, that you would appreciate how this coaching staff would still stick with you and stick out the game. So in that moment where they pulled you for a different person, what kind of thoughts were going through your mind?
Just given the situation in the game, I kind of get it that they were trying to get a spark going for this team, and again, I'm all for the team, and whatever is best in the situation. It was unfortunate that we kind of struggled, but it's a team game.
Coach Miles talked about wanting to see better tempo. I guess how exactly do you guys go about achieving that?
I'd say it starts with practice. Just repping it. I think we do a pretty good job of having a great pace in practice. That's ever since Coach Dearman has been our OC. But no, I'd say just repping it throughout the week.
Is it more difficult to string together, or more difficult to have tempo whenever you're having some 3 and outs and you don't want to put your defense in a bad position?
I'd say it definitely is. If you're not in that flow, if you're not in that rhythm, it is hard to get into tempo. But that's the great thing about it. It can take one play. One play can get the whole thing going.